Ever looked at an old family album and thought, wait, how is this person only 30? They look 50. Why did our grandparents and great-grandparents look so much older than we do today, even when they were younger than us? Is it the camera? Is it the lifestyle? Or is it something deeper, something hidden in the way life used to be? Today we are traveling back in time, not through nostalgia, but through real history, real science, and real human stories, to understand why the past looks so old, and what it says about how far we've come. 1. Fashion. The first thing that aged people instantly. Visuals. 1950s streets, men in suits, women in headscarves. Think about those old photographs. Everyone is dressed like they're attending a job interview, even on a casual Tuesday. In post-war Britain, clothes weren't designed to make you look young or stylish. Men wore thick wool suits, starched collars, waistcoats, even in summer. Women dressed just like their mothers. Frocks, headscarves, uncomfortable foundation garments. No athleisure. No jeans and t-shirt. No dressing young for your age. Back then, youth culture didn't even exist until the mid-1960s. A 16-year-old and a 60-year-old often dressed almost the same. And clothes weren't just old-fashioned, they were heavy, restrictive, and aging. 2. Hair. The styles that added years instantly. Visuals. Slicked back men, women with perms. Nothing ages a person like their hairstyle. Men kept their hair short, stiff, and slicked with Brylcreem. The moment a boy started working, he adopted his father's hairstyle. Individuality? Not allowed. The short back and sides was a uniform, one that made young men look older from day one. Women? Even stricter rules. Once a woman got married, she was expected to adopt a mature style. Tight perms, set curls, careful pinning, and absolutely no natural hairstyles. Modern messy hair would have been seen as shocking. The message was clear. Looking respectable was more important than looking young. 3. Smoking. The silent skin aging machine. Visuals. Doctors smoking. Ads from the 50s. Here's where things get serious. In the 1950s, 80% of British men smoked, 40% of women smoked, doctors, teachers, even pregnant women smoked. It was normal, it was cool, it was patriotic. But tobacco was doing invisible damage, breaking down collagen, restricting blood flow, etching deep wrinkles, creating tired, weathered faces, those lines we associate with old age. Back then, they showed up in your 20s and 30s, and no one knew why. Smoking didn't just age individuals, it aged an entire generation. 4. Sun damage. Tans that cost people their youth. Visuals. British holidaymakers in 60s, sunburns, beaches. Sunscreen? Didn't exist. The strongest you could get was basically oil that made you burn faster. The moment cheap flights to Spain appeared, thousands of pale Britons roasted themselves under the Mediterranean sun, proud to return home bright red. Outdoor workers, farmers, builders, fishermen, spent years under the sun with zero protection. UV rays destroyed. Elasticity, collagen, skin health. By 40, many people had the skin of a modern 60-year-old. Ironically, tans were a sign of health, when they were actually a sign of long-term damage. 5. Dental health. The one thing that added decades instantly. Visuals. Old dental clinics, dentures. Let's talk about British teeth. Dental care was basic, expensive, and often avoided. Most adults only visited a dentist when the pain was unbearable. It wasn't shocking for someone in their 30s or 40s to need full dentures. And dentures back then weren't like today. They fit badly, changed face shapes, and instantly made people look decades older. Crooked, stained, or missing teeth. Completely normal. Cosmetic dentistry wasn't even a concept. This alone contributed massively to the old look we see in photos. 6. Hard labor. Bodies worn down by reality. Visuals. Coal mines, factories, shipyards, housewives scrubbing floors. Life was physically brutal. Men worked in mines, factories, shipyards, jobs that broke down bodies quickly. A 30-year-old miner might look 50 because he'd spent half his life underground inhaling dust. Women's work was different, but no less exhausting. Before modern appliances, housework was endless. Hand-washing clothes, scrubbing floors, carrying heavy shopping, cooking everything from scratch, raising multiple children. Combined with repeated pregnancies, women aged rapidly. Dark circles, stress lines, fatigue, these weren't cosmetic issues, they were survival marks. 7. Nutrition. A diet that aged a nation. Visuals. Ration books, plain boiled meals. Rationing lasted until 1954. But even after that, food was simple and limited. Typical meals. Bread, potatoes, cabbage, and more potatoes. Meat was scarce. Fruit was a luxury. Vitamins were minimal. With so few nutrients, skin lost glow, hair thinned, and bodies lacked vitality. Everything was boiled to death, destroying nutrients. We now know nutrition affects aging dramatically, and our grandparents simply didn't have access to the foods that keep us looking young. 8. Medicine. The knowledge we take for granted. Visuals, old hospitals, doctors smoking. Doctors themselves smoked. Preventive healthcare didn't exist. No anti-aging skincare. No regular checkups. No blood pressure medication. No statins. No sunscreen. People simply aged faster because medicine couldn't slow aging yet. The idea of preserving youth didn't exist. Aging was destiny, unquestioned, unavoidable. 9. Emotional burden. Trauma lives on the face. Visuals, war documentaries, bombed cities, families rebuilding. This might be the biggest factor of all. Many adults in the 50s and 60s had survived World War II. They endured bombing raids, rationing, fear, financial instability, and deep personal loss. Stress etches itself onto the face. Trauma creates permanent lines. Anxiety ages the eyes. Back then, life wasn't just physically hard, it was emotionally exhausting. People weren't older looking. They were worn down by experiences modern generations can barely imagine. Conclusion, a reminder of how far we've come. Visuals, modern life versus old life transitions. So no, our grandparents weren't genetically different. They didn't age faster because of biology. They aged faster because life was harder. Restrictive fashion, harsh hairstyles, universal smoking, endless sun damage, poor dentistry, physically demanding work, limited medicine, nutrient-poor diets, wartime trauma. Every old photograph tells a story, not of age, but of survival. The truth is, we look younger today because we are living easier, healthier, more supported lives, all thanks to the sacrifices they made. Outro engagement. What about you? Do you remember people looking older when you were young? Any stories from your parents or grandparents? Share your memories in the comments, because every old photograph is a piece of history worth preserving. Until next time, take care, and cherish those weathered faces. They built the world we live in.